Hello and welcome to Gardening at 58 North. In this video I'm going to finally get rid of my spring bulbs here, which have died down and they're ready to go into dormancy now, and then later on in autumn I can plant them again and they should grow nicely and give me a good display for next spring. So these were really badly affected by green fly, and I can show you some of these which are still a bit green have got green fly still on them. You can see there quite a few green fly, unfortunately. Now I could have sprayed it with pesticide, but I decided not to, and the reason for that is in the past I've sprayed with pesticide, it's killed off all the aphids, but then when the beneficial insects have come later on in the year, they've been killed off by the pesticide, and even though it killed off most of the aphids, it didn't kill off all of them, and I still had a few remaining, and then the pollen was even worse than before. So this has unfortunately meant that this time I've had a lot of damage to my plants because of all the aphids. But it's paid off, because you can see here I have a hoverfly larva which is going around eating all the aphids. I've also seen a lacewing larva, and I've also seen ladybird larva as well. So it works really well, which should mean that my balcony should be pretty much pest free for most of the summer, at least aphid free anyway. I've also seen some of the little wasps that lay their eggs in the aphid and cause little like zombified aphids, so that's good. So what I'm going to do is now remove the dead foliage from this and take out the bulbs and see how the bulbs are done. I'll be carefully looking for any more beneficial insects like this hoverfly here, and I'll put them on my new plants, because some of my new plants have got aphids and those insects will help to clear them up. So I'm just going to carefully pull them out, have a look at how they're doing. So here's one of my tulips. I'm just going to cut off the foliage there because that's dead. But as you can see, it's done quite well. I'm also going to pull off some of these roots because they're also dead and they're not needed anymore. So it looks quite good. The bulb's quite fat. It looks like it's split into two bulbs there, so that's quite a good success. Get it in focus for you. There you are, it's quite a fat bulb. It's done well. I was worried with all the aphids it would might shrivel it off a bit, but it's actually done okay. So I'll just check the crocuses here. And then again, they've done okay. They haven't done as well as I hoped. You can see the bulbs are actually a little bit small. I'll just cut off some of that foliage so you can see. They are a bit smaller than I was hoping. They were bigger when I first planted them, maybe twice the size, so I think these have really suffered a lot, unfortunately, but they're still perfectly happy and healthy. So the display might be not quite as good next year. This was actually one bulb and it's turned into three, so it might not flower as well next year, but I have actually got more plants than I did last year. I've got a lot more bulbs, so that's good. And I'll pick up a few other ones, and you can see here's another one which was one bulb but it's now turned into three. So it looks like I've tripled all my crocuses, which is good. But as I say, that the bulbs are a lot smaller, so the display might be not as good next year. Hopefully next year we won't have the same aphid problems, and we'll get a good display the year after. So I'll just continue now and I'll pull them all out. Okay, so that's the top now cleared. You can see that's all the bulbs taken out. There's actually quite a lot of bulbs. I'm quite happy with how many have come out, and I don't think I've lost a single bulb, to be honest. I didn't find any mushy bulbs or evidence of any bulbs that had died, so looks like I had a 100% success rate with them surviving. I said before, most of them have divided, including my tulips. You can see in this one quite clearly. It's got a new one coming through, which looks good. So these are the tulips. We've also got, so that was a that's daffodil, I think. Yeah, that's daffodil, and they're dividing nicely. We've also got tulips, like this one here, and you can see if I break off this outer layer, that's also got a few young bulbs. So that's separating. You can see there. There's probably a third bulb coming up there. So they're all divided, which is good. It means more bulbs, but as I said, the bulbs are a little bit smaller, so I won't be getting as good a display next year. But then I was never expecting a really good display the second year, because the whole point in layering up your bulbs in a pot with having such a small area with so many bulbs is to get a maximum display. And you'll get a really good display from the bulb in the first year, but because there's so many bulbs in such a small space, they're all competing for light and nutrients, so it will weaken them, so you'll never get a good display the next year. So what I'll do is I'll put these in with more space. I'll probably put them in my parents' garden or somebody else's garden, and they'll do well with have a decent amount of space, but I'll have to wait a few years if I want to put them in again in a really dense display like this. So I've been quite happy with how this display's worked over the year. I will be making another display in a few months, so I'll be getting a few more bulbs. I'll probably go for a similar selection, but I'll be a bit more careful with my choice, because as I showed you in other videos, some of the bulbs flowered a bit too early, other ones were a bit late, like the crocuses. I was expecting the crocuses to be earlier. I think part of the problem was the warm winter. It was one of the warmest Decembers on record, but that might not have been the only reason. So I'll be doing it again, but I'll be using a slightly different mixture of bulbs, and I'll keep you updated when that happens.